All right, so I have a bit of an interesting video just discussing certain things that I think is going to be very important for this Jack unit in specific, but this whole season just in general. I think that we've gotten to the point where now it's time to start branching out for the meta, and it is going to be very important with these two DPS units in specific, mainly Jack though, and I'll explain why in a bit, to be at least as good, or please don't make them better, but as good as Noel and Julius on that level, right? Now, we have had 2 months of the Noel reign, and I would like for it to not just be Noel having her fun. I would like for more metas to slowly start creeping up. And I feel like right now it's revolving a bit too much around Noel for my liking, that I just hope and almost need for these DPSs, because obviously teams revolve mainly around the DPSs. If you have no DPSs, unless you're running the cringe like Mars Charmy team, right, you're most likely not gonna win. So DPSs are definitely very important, and Jack in specific, right? So as of right now, if we go to tier list, okay, SSR, we're gonna go PvP. We've got an SSS power and an SSS technique. The highest, this I agree with most of this tier list, maybe except for like Kahono being this low and Yami being this high, but except for that, I do agree with this tier list wholeheartedly. Maybe Yuno being higher also. But anyway, there's no good green DPS. If we really look at it, DPSs, Fuego, we all know how that goes. Lich, decent, but just mainly used for his immortality. Raya, horrible without Lich, but running Lich and Raya together is just basically killing yourself at the moment. And Vanessa, she literally makes it so you cannot target the person with the lowest speed, and usually the person with the lowest speed is a tank, which you would want to target. And her whole build is off of damage res, but she can't build up her damage enough because you have to build her with damage res. And her passives on her skills: bleed, blessing of protection, and silence only on skill 2. It sucks, right? We need a good green DPS. And with the way the game has been going, right? At first the meta was Raya Lich. Then they released Noel. Noel hard countered them. Color counter, and also just because it's very funny how this works, right? Noel was AoE, and you want to like most likely kill both of them at once. She killed both of them at once. Julius is a single target, could easily wipe out Noel, and now it needs to come full circle, and we need to have a good green DPS. Now, there are facts that I do want to present, is that every time a unit comes out, they get power crept, or not power crept, countered after release, right? And I think up to this point, obviously, it's not been a horrible thing. I think it's been good to a certain extent, except for the fact that it kind of limited Vanessa so much. They could not make Vanessa good. Like speaking business, like if they made Vanessa good, Julius would have not been as summoned on. Why? She's green, he's blue. If they release someone who's able to counter Julius 2 weeks before, wouldn't have made sense. So, guess what? This guy comes out 2 weeks after. If they fumble him, we will not have the opportunity to have the full rock paper scissors counter meta, in where every unit is kind of unsafe. Because right now Noel's unsafe, and that's it. That Julius isn't unsafe. There's no green unit, and he has a revive. It's not like you're not really having a problem. Like Julius is not having a problem. So if Jack comes in and makes it so that there's the rock paper scissors, where rock is good, paper is good, scissors is good. If all three colors are good, it will help the game so much in establishing a more diverse meta if they do not continue to power scale or power creep the game. If they keep it at this level, which if they go any further, it's just, I'm not going to understand it. So I'm putting my little bit of faith and saying that Jack's going to have to be on like at least SS. Like we need him to like easily be as good as this Red Asta and be worthy of this. At least Kyoto level, but if they put it higher than Kyoto, we're happy, right? Now, with Jack being bad, if he's bad, it would be bad for the game overall, by far. Now, with what we know so far, it's kind of hard to tell because he also has a new buff. But obviously, let's look through it, right? Now, skill 1 wise, He's single target, right? Single target. He's a full single target unit. It applies bleed, but we don't know like what his other skills do and how his passive is gonna react to that bleed. Because for Ready Ami, having bleed on his skill 1 is the best thing ever. And alt, it guarantees that you're able to get a stun from his skill 2 if the enemy has a bleed. Now, this one too, if you see, there's going to be that positive negative, so pretty good buffs overall. It gives them that positive negative buff. No idea what it does. The name itself is related to the math terms. So I forgot what it was exactly, but it was some math concept or whatever. So yeah, we don't know what it does. We just have to be hopeful. And this too, you'll see it's only one enemy that he's attacking. Like this little guy, one enemy. So full single target. I don't have a problem with that. It's gonna definitely be, in my opinion, how I see it to counter Julius. Now, I find it funny because like Vanessa was just that in-between character that it's like, okay, she has silence on skill 2, stops from using, potentially, because it's AoE, potentially stops Noelle from using her skill 2, but then it's like, oh, she could still use her ultimate because it's not a total silence. So, you know, little things like that kind of made her bad, very bad. And it makes sense. Like, it sucks that Vanessa was kind of given up because they're like, okay, guys, we need to release a green DPS. We cannot make her good since Julius is going to be blue coming out in 2 weeks to counter Noelle. And if she is someone who people do not want, we will not make money. So who do you put? You put Vanessa. Because Vanessa. Yes, anyway. I think that this is just like, they can't fumble again. Because if they fumble again 2 green DPSs in a row, it's genuinely going to be bad for the game. I feel like if this one and also Fuego 2 are, hold on, if both of them are going to be good, right, it's going to help the game so much in making the meta more diverse, because 4 DPSs that are running around is, in my opinion, better than 2. I feel like global meta is fun because, actually, no, not really. I feel like it was more enjoyable on KR that first month. But to be fair, we haven't gotten Lich, Raya, Fauna, and Veto. So when we get Fauna, Lich, and Raya, the meta is going to slowly start to differentiate itself, right? So I think that's going to be fun. That was a very fun period for me in terms of playing Arena. Now, in terms of Arena, right, this is all for Arena, but if Fuego is good too, which I kind of doubt it, because he has double single target and AoE alt, both of his single target skills put Incapacitate and Burn, which could be interesting. We'll have to see. But I feel like Jack is more important because if we have that rock, paper, scissors meta, it's going to be good. Now, I did have problems with it. I was tweeting this morning. And my problems, let me just, that's JP Twitter, but it's fine. We're going to go to my tweets about it. Is it this one? So I basically said that like every time there was a meta, they got countered by the type disadvantage color, right? So Lich and Raya was the first meta by far easily, countered by Noelle. And I guess you could even say that before this, it was the blue meta, just having blue units. So then Noelle countered them, able to AoE kill both of them. Lich gonna stay alive, but you know what I mean. Then Noelle was countered by Julius, who was blue. And Julius might get countered by Jack. And honestly, at this point, in the morning, I was thinking about it and I was like, this kind of shit. But the more you think about it, you want every unit to be in check, which is going to make it much more fun. Make it so that you're going to still have to have a really good team. And it's going to suck for defense, could be fun for attack. And now, especially for the upper leagues, because there's 2 units that are random, you won't be able to specifically counter outright because of the fact that 2 of the units could be hidden. You could hide your DPSs. And then it's like, oh shit, who do I bring? You won't be able to directly counter them because of color. And I actually really think that that mechanic that they talked about is very healthy for the game. I really like it. Where is it? So the blind spot is where you could hide up to 2 slots on the defense team. And I think that's really neat and very healthy, especially if there's every unit has a good color. It's going to be very good. Now, Fumbling Jack is genuinely not going to be good at all. I hope you guys agree. But if you don't, let me know why. I'm very interested to see why you think they fumble him. It's not that bad. It seems like Charlotte's going to be very good. Jack, I just want him to be good because, first of all, he's drippy. I like Jack. I like Fuego too. But I have no hopes for him seeing his skill 1 and 2. But Jack, because of his buffs he gives, I have hope. How they built him could be interesting. We're going to have to see for both. I would wish that both are good. But I feel like it's mainly going to have to be Jack because of how they work, the patterns they've shown, right? I think this is a very clear pattern. And it's even proven because of the fact that Vanessa was shit 2 weeks before. Like, Vanessa released 2 weeks before. She was shit. She was green. Because you cannot release a unit that's going to counter someone who's coming out 2 weeks after who's really hype. Because then it won't make as much money, right? And of course, Vanessa is still going to make you money because of Vanessa. So this is my thoughts. Please, Black Clover Mobile, don't fumble Jack. Charlotte seems that she's going to be very good. I'm happy. We needed a good buffer. It just sucks that she's blue, but whatever. Anyway, don't fumble Jack. That's all I want.